All right, welcome to 1.4 multiplying and dividing integers. There's a little video that you can watch. It's kind of a goofy little video. Feel free to copy and paste the link that has to do with multiplying and dividing integers, but it's just a little song, so you can watch it if you would like to. Our objective today is that students will be able to multiply and divide integers, so positive and negative numbers. So maybe back in second grade when you were learning how to multiply, you learned it as repeated addition. So when we have 3 times 2, that really means we're taking the number 2 and repeating it 3 times. So in this example, we have 2, 1, 2, 3 times. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Okay? It works the same even when you have a negative number. We're going to take the number negative 2 and repeat it 3 times. 3 times negative 2. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And when we add negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2, we get negative 6. So in other words, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So if you ever forget one of your multiplication facts, you can use this method to figure out what the product is. This is something that you will definitely need in your notes, and this is just talking about the signs of your answer. So if you have the same signs for two numbers, like negative, actually let's start with positive, like 2 times 3, okay, your answer is positive because both of those were positive. You could also have negative 2 times negative 3, okay, those numbers have the same sign, so when you multiply it, you should get a positive answer. So same signs, positive answer. However, when you have different signs, such as negative 2 and positive 3, those have different signs, or negative 3 and positive 2, your answer will be negative. So same signs, positive answer. Different signs, negative answer. And this goes, notice the title says multiplying and dividing. Okay, so this works for multiplication and division, the same rule. We can use the number line method to find these products. I think the number line method is a little bit cumbersome. I definitely pushed that when we were doing adding and subtracting. But for multiplying, I don't know if it's quite as intuitive, but here's how it works regardless. So we have negative 7 times 2. Remember this dot here in the middle, that's a very large dot, means times. Okay. So we're going to start at 0. Okay, and negative 7 times 2 means take the number negative 7 and add it to itself. Okay, twice. I have 1, 2. And we can figure out what negative 7 plus negative 7 is. So starting at 0, we go down to negative 7. Okay, and since we're adding another negative number, we should continue to go to the left. And again, it's 7. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we end at negative 14. Okay, so negative 7 plus negative 7 is negative 14, or negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. So if you want to use a number line, you would write it out as repeated addition, and you could use the number line method. Remember that multiplication and division are inverse operations, okay? And inverse operations just means that they undo each other, okay? That they're opposites. So we're going to look at the next slide and see how they might be opposite operations. Okay. If we look at the patterns below, they suggest that when the signs of integers are different, their product or quotient is negative. So different signs, negative answer. Now we have to remember product means multiply, quotient means divide. So whether we multiply or divide, if they have different signs, your answer is negative. Okay, then the patterns, which we'll look at here in a second, also suggest that the product or quotient of two negative integers is positive. Okay, so two negative integers have the same sign, you get a positive answer. So we could look at negative 3 times 2 here. Okay, they have different signs, their product is negative. Okay, here we have different signs, product is negative. Here we have different signs, product is Well, 0. And 0 happens to be the only number that is neither positive nor negative. Every other number you could say is positive or negative except for 0. Okay, we know that when we multiply by 0, our answer is 0. Okay, also, here we have a negative number times a negative number, and our answer is positive. Negative times negative, we get a positive. Okay, the same goes for quotient. I have a negative and a negative, I get a positive answer. Negative and negative, I get a positive answer. Okay, same with when I have different signs. So I have a positive and negative, I get a negative answer. So we can see that these patterns hold true for both multiplication and division. Okay, let's try a few examples here. Now you really have to remember your multiplication facts for this lesson. If you're not so sharp on your multiplication facts, I would recommend practicing flashcards, going online, getting some type of practice in because you are going to need to know those. Here I have -6 times -5. Okay, so I have a negative number times a negative number, which means I should get a positive answer because they have the same signs. So same signs means positive answer. And we have to know what is 6 times 5, okay? And if you don't know what 6 times 5 is, you can always count by 5 6 times. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 6 times 5 is 30. And we already decided that it is a positive 30. Same signs, positive answer. In example B, they now have different signs, so we can already tell that our answer will be negative. Okay, we need to know what is 4 times 7. Well, hopefully most of you will be able to recall that is 28. So our answer is -28. Again, if you're unsure or you want to double check your work, just add 7 together 4 different times or add 4 together 7 different times. So use the repeated addition method. Here we have different signs, or sorry, same signs, negative and negative, which means we should get a positive answer. 2 times 8, of course, is 16. So a -2 times -8 is positive 16. It's almost like the negatives cancel each other out. Okay, quotients, again, are going to work the same way. They use the same rules. So 35 divided by 5, we know is 7. And our answer will be negative because we have different signs. 35 is positive, -5 is negative. If they have different signs, your answer is negative. In example B, -32 divided by -4. Well, I know 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, and I have to decide, is it a positive 8 or -8? Well, I have a -32 and a -4. They have the same signs, so same signs means positive answer. And lastly, in C, -48 divided by 6. Well, I know that 48 divided by 6 is 8. Okay, and I have a -48 and a positive 6. They have different signs, so my answer is negative. And we have a word problem here. And this word problem happens to do with, well, I can't talk. No, deals with average. Okay. And we have to remember that what average is. And I know last year you worked with mean, median, and mode. Average is the same as the mean. So we have Mrs. Johnson kept track of a stock she was considering buying. She recorded the price change each day. What was the average change per day? So on Monday, it dropped $1. Tuesday rose 3. Wednesday rose $2. Thursday dropped $5. Friday rose $6. We want to know what the average change was over those 5 days. So in order to find the average, you add up each of the points in your data set. So -1 plus 3 plus 2 plus -5 plus 6. Okay, so we're first going to find the sum, or in other words, add up all the numbers. So -1 plus 3 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus a -5 is -1, and -1 plus 6 is 5. So when I add them all up, I get 5. And then in order to find the average, now 5 is not the average, 5 is the sum of those numbers, the total of those numbers. You take the total and divide it by how many numbers you added together. Well, we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers together. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so the average is 1. Well, we're talking about money here. So the average change was $1 per day. So I would say Mrs. Johnson could invest in this stock because she will, on average, gain $1 per day. She's not losing any money. The other example I wanted to talk about here, last one, is this one. Okay, the temperature at Bar Harbor, Maine was -3 degrees Fahrenheit. It then dropped during the night to be 4 times as cold. What was the temperature then? Okay, so 4 times as cold is exactly what it sounds like. We are going to multiply by 4 times. So we have our temperature -3. We're going to get 4 times as cold. Okay, -3 times 4 is 12, but they have different signs, so our answer is -12. And that's degrees Fahrenheit. So at night, it dropped down to -12 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 times as cold as it was during the day. And then your homework for this section is the 1.4 worksheet. There are quite a few more problems on this than the previous worksheets. However, you should be able to click through them pretty quickly if you recall your multiplication facts. So hopefully it will not take you any longer than your previous assignments. Thank you.